Hey, Guffs. Before we get started, I just want to give you the opportunity to help the show keep going by following the donate link in the show and episode descriptions. When you do that, magically, we receive money for the show. Don't worry about where it's coming from. So, if you've enjoyed all this free content, you can continue to enjoy the same exact free content, but at a monthly price. So remember to follow the show, and if you like what you hear, go ahead and keep listening. And if you don't, hit automatic download in your podcast platform to help us with those numbers. Thanks. Welcome back to episode 11 of Searching for MacGuffin with your host, George,
Gabe,
and Link.
And today we're going to continue to talk about Phase 4. But before we do that, I just want to give our listeners a word of warning. At the end of this episode, after we finish wrapping this conversation, just stay on the line if you have seen Spider-Man No Way Home, because you will get our immediate reaction just moments after seeing the film. But if you didn't, don't worry, this episode will wrap up. We'll warn you again. Just put a pause on it and watch it. If you didn't see it opening weekend, make the time and then come back to this episode and finish our conversation on Phase 4 cinematic Marvel films at this point. But without further ado, let's just get right to it. The next phase this year has been, we're going to skip, the blip was that year.
The pandemic.
Yeah, where we got nothing. And we're gonna hold off on discussing the television because that's a whole other conversation. The way we tell stories, through that serialized medium, especially what we're watching now, it's the conversation for another time. But we did get 3 films this year, and the first one was Black Widow.
First movie we get in Disney Plus.
really liked it.
No, I paid for it.
Really liked it.
We all paid for it.
Yeah, that's true. We did all pay for it. Gabriel,
A-list, baby.
Oh, well, in the sense that we bought the premiere access to watch it at home. But yeah, Gabriel dragged me to the theater to watch it the night it came out anyways. So I got to see it cinematically. I, hand sanitized and wore my mask and, embarked on a... I was vaccinated by the time already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was prepared, but I still hadn't gone anywhere.
Wait, why wasn't I invited to this?
You were living in Chattanooga. I'm just kidding.
You're probably in California.
No, I was here.
Yeah, in
I was here.
California.
What
I'm
was
just
this
kidding. That was
year?
the pandemic already. Yeah, he was here.
Why wasn't I invited to this?
You know what? That didn't happen. We saw it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, we saw it on
for
Disney
the first
Plus.
time on Friday.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. That was after. Never mind.
Yeah,
we had definitely
we didn't
seen
watch
it.
it.
Yeah, we
watch
didn't see it in theaters.
I'm,
I did not
I'm
embark
walking out of this.
on this. Sure. I know that Gabriel paid for my ticket.
You weren't here?
I was here July 9th.
No, yeah, he watched it at my house the next day.
And you probably don't want to go? Or you had
Nah, we did tell you.
You probably had a commitment. I
Because
don't know.
Gisela almost didn't go.
This
My wife.
this happens with Link from time to time where we talk about an
Yeah,
experience.
we definitely didn't secretly go watch Black Widow.
We
without
talk
him.
about an experience, then he's
No,
like, why
you know
didn't
what
I
it
go?
was? Did you have groups on Thursday or something?
No.
You had some kind of responsibility. You didn't have a YouTube series that you were working on, or
You know what? You're right. Yeah.
yeah. So you knew that it was going to be in theaters,
This
and
is
it was
how
still
every conversation
it was still
ends.
a little wonky about going back in, anyways. But Gabriel convinced me because he paid for me, so I ventured out there. He still had his A list, or he had restarted his A list. I loved it at home. I loved it in the theater. This movie was
I
cool.
really enjoyed it. I didn't I don't know when a movie's supposed to come out and then it just gets withheld from you
Yeah.
for a while. It
Mhm.
kind of the hype kind of dies down.
The hype did die down, so I didn't have any hype going into this movie, which really
Which was
served.
good.
Yeah,
Because I watched it and I was like, man, this feels like a Bourne movie.
right.
Also introduced I really like this actress, Florence Pugh.
Yeah,
Pug.
I think it's Pew.
Push.
No, you're making things up now.
I think she stole the show for me.
Yeah, I loved her working Little Women.
Fantastic.
Oh, I
yeah.
loved. I think she's like the best part of Fighting with My Family, which is another movie
Mhm.
that.
I mean, she is the main part.
Yeah, but also like the movie's not a great
That
movie.
good,
She's
yeah.
great in it, I think, which makes it a good movie. She's great.
Sure. I mean, I watched Midnight Summer or something. Midsummer.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm never going.
That
to
Yeah, I'm
was-
never gonna watch that.
I'm never
That
going to
was-
Scandinavia.
Anyone listening,
I mean-
please don't watch that. No, unless you're with Zendaya.
That was. I watched it because of her, and I'm like, oh, I don't know why I watched this.
Yeah,
She was great though.
she was great though, and a swan song for Scarlett Johansson and her character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It kind of makes you feel like the movie should have come out a lot earlier.
I agree. I feel like this movie would have been nice. Oh man, dare I say it?
In phase 1?
No,
No.
like where it takes place. Where's this place? What, after Civil War?
Yeah.
I think in chronological order.
Yeah.
If this movie would have fed right into Infinity War,
I think it would have worked
yeah.
because in Endgame, then she's like, oh.
Yeah. And she died. She dies in Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it could have worked in. Could it have worked in Captain Marvel's spot?
I did think that. I was thinking that because any movie that you're gonna put in that slot is gonna have a tough job. So,
But you already sold on Black Widow.
Exactly.
It's almost like Black Panther. You sold him in.
Yeah, you already have an audience built in.
Yeah. It's like this is.
But it's kind of like, oh, she's got her own movie. What's gonna happen to her?
You know, the other thing is too. I think you would have really been surprised
If she died.
that she died
Yeah.
if she just got her own movie. Announcing that she has her own movie after is kind of like, I guess that makes sense. It's kind of confusing. So I love this movie. I love that we got to see it at home. I love that I got to share it with all my friends and family, especially during the pandemic era.
I'm
You know,
kind of sad about this movie now.
part of me,
Huh?
because he didn't get to see it in theaters,
Yeah, I'm gonna see it with you guys.
but you knew that was a choice.
This
You had
movie's-
responsibilities.
This movie's down there for me now.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I loved going to see it, but like, it was great at home. I thought it was great at home.
Mm.
It wasn't.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah. No. What? I mean, I kind of wish this model would continue. I wish I could have seen Shang-Chi. I did venture out to see Shang-Chi in theaters,
Which is the next movie?
and this movie was spectacular. One last note on Black Widow before we move to Shang-Chi. Notice no controversy about a female-led film. Have we progressed as a society?
No,
somehow?
It's because
she died. They feel like they owed it to her.
Oh.
That's. I
Well,
don't
what
know,
about the
that's what I
fans,
thought.
though? You know, I guess we'd already seen her in movies, so it wasn't a big deal.
And I think people. I don't know. I think it's a big thing about the actress.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. You already sold on her,
I
and
just
you already
think people
sold on
don't like
Black
Brie
Widow.
Larson.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also, you're starved. You're starved for Marvel content. We went a year with nothing, so they're ready for a fresh coat of paint. Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings came out in September. I know that the director is Destin Daniel Cretton. I don't know anything about him. Do you?
No idea.
I don't know what he worked on ahead of time.
Oh, he
I know
made. He
he's-
did Just Mercy.
Oh, I've heard that that's so good, but I haven't seen it.
And that's the only film that.
That's their only like high profile film.
Yeah.
That he had. Well, he knocked it out of the park because this movie was amazing.
Yeah,
I think again, it's like the Black Panther.
of the Asian community.
Yeah, for the Asian culture
And
specifically,
like, yeah,
Chinese.
a strong origin.
Yeah, I love that he's Chinese American. You know, I love that he's like here and now.
He's of both worlds.
Yeah, he's in both worlds, right? I like Aquafina. I think she's funny.
She's funny. So I love this movie, but this movie gets me mad
Why?
because this movie is what Iron Fist should have been.
Yeah, I agree. That's now I'm mad.
So trying to focus on some more positive. The choreography.
Oh man. Oh,
Which should have been the choreography in Iron Fist.
I'm
You know
sure
what?
we'll get to that point in the TV discussion.
okay. You know that? That's such a good point. We're like 20 plus movies in phase 4, and we're still doing new genres.
Yeah.
This is a martial arts film. This is a martial arts. This is you have the spoilers if you haven't seen Shang-Chi. It's on Disney Plus, so everyone should have watched it. Apparently, everyone in America has access to a Disney Plus account, so that's on you if you haven't seen it. There is a giant dragon at the end. There is so much folklore and just tradition in this film. We got a martial arts film, you know, with a little bit of Chinese magic in it, and it's a brand
It's
new.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's everything. We got a new lead actor.
She moves great.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
I hadn't seen Kim's Convenience. Some of my students have recommended it.
I have one student always telling me to watch it.
Yeah, I have.
One day I'll watch it, Samuel.
Have you seen that like?
Oh, same student.
Have you
Got
seen
it.
the like joke on the
Shout out
internet
Samuel.
where
You know who
Simu
you are.
where Simu was stock model
Yeah.
for stock photos?
Yeah.
And people were just adding like him and like in the stock photos, but like photoshopping the Shang-Chi's outfit
Right.
on him into like these like he's presenting like a power representation
Right.
as Shang-Chi.
As to why an Asian American should be.
I
should have
heard that
his own-
I heard that he was like after this role for like a really long time,
Yeah.
and that's great to see. Like,
And that's what those memes became, like him and Stockfold, presenting why, hey, this is why you should make a movie.
yeah, it's like when
With an
Donald
ag-
Glover wanted to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I also really like him. Like he has a TikTok. He makes TikToks,
Mhm.
and they're actually very funny. And it's just it's nice to see like someone that's in this. He's thrusted into this like superstardom of being in the MCU,
Yes,
being
yes.
a new hero,
Mhm.
and you can still kind of relate to him. Like he's making TikToks like as a normal person. And I think he's just he can be very down to earth, and I really like him, and I really like where they're headed with him.
Yeah.
That's the best fighting scene we've seen in all the MCU.
The scaffolding scenes, man.
The set pieces. It's wow. Also, Trevor.
The callbacks, exactly.
Yeah.
With Trevor, I thought that was a great move.
12 years later,
Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah.
Abomination,
Mm-hmm. That's right.
actually getting to Wong.
Wong.
Wait, Abomination?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he fights Wong.
Abomination fights Wong in that underground fight,
The first fight before he fights his sister.
right? And then they're in the locker room.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
And Wong opens a portal, and Abomination walks through. It's almost like they threw the fight.
Yeah.
And I'm so confused. What does that
Yeah,
scene
I
mean?
totally forgot about
Why are you still doing this to me, Marvel?
Is that Tim Roth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
I
back.
totally forgot about that scene.
Yeah. So what is it? Where is it gonna pay off? Doctor Strange, Thunderbolts? I don't know.
In the Wong,
Stop doing this to me.
In the Wong movie.
In the Wong movie. In the Wong series on Disney Plus.
Oh, wouldn't mind that.
So, I heard some people watching and they're like, it was good. It wasn't great. And then I was like, have you seen All Hail the King? You guys have seen this, right? The Trevor short film? No? I'm seeing blank stares now.
I haven't seen it.
Yes, it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's on Disney
I thought it
Plus.
was new, but it was actually old.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was on. I think. No, it wasn't Iron Man 3. It was after that. I think it's on one of the Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
But they put it on Disney Plus to market it. It's gonna help. It's gonna really contextualize this movie. And if you go back and watch Iron Man 3, you're gonna love it even more.
Mhm.
So I'm great. And thanks to Disney Plus, I'm grateful that I can just be like, hey, go watch this, and that over there. You already have it.
Easy.
Yeah, it's really easy. So that makes the movie that much greater.
I don't know where the MCU is gonna go with some
Mhm.
of their heroes, but I would love to see Shang-Chi team up with people like Iron Fist, Daredevil. I would love to see that.
Go ahead.
Speaking of where we're going, did you want to add a point before we move towards the next?
Where are we going? Are we gonna get another Avengers movie? Ever? 5 years?
But with new people, probably.
Yeah, but or do we not? Do we rebuild this again for 10 years?
I have no idea
Yeah.
with the direction that we're going.
Where would you go?
That's the thing. I don't know. With the next film that came out, I am confused.
Okay. So the next film, just recently, November. I think they recently announced that January 12th, Eternals will be on Disney Plus. So, which is kind of a short window. Good for everyone who hasn't seen it. Bad for everyone who has seen it. Okay, I don't mean to be negative, but I know a lot of people really like this movie, and I guess I'm happy for them. I'm definitely not one of them.
I think the collective opinion of the three of us is weakest.
Ever. Out of the 24 movies.
Oh, I
weakest.
thought you meant like the weakest movie of all time.
Weakest.
I was like, whoa.
I think Thor Dark World is better than this.
I would watch Thor Dark World 3 times in a row.
And it wouldn't be as long as this.
It wouldn't feel as long
Yeah.
as this movie.
I'll watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended edition and it wouldn't feel as long as
Now
this.
we try to stay positive on this podcast. Or at least me and Gabe do.
That's your gimmick.
Yeah, but it's not a gimmick. We're just trying to be positive. But I didn't enjoy this film at all. Which is the strangest thing to say.
I mean, we could probably have a whole episode about this.
Yeah.
What we didn't like about it. But I mean, any positives from this film?
I'd say it's pretty, but sometimes it isn't.
I feel like as if, and I was telling George this as we were watching. I feel like Chloe Zhao, sorry, combined again this combination of styles. Combine No Man's Land with
Nomadland?
No Man. I keep on saying No
You
Man.
keep saying No Man's Land. I'm thinking about the classic Batman story from the comics.
Whatever her movie was called, and she
Nomad Land.
Nomadland. She combined it with a movie with superhero movie.
Okay. Full disclosure: Link has not seen Nomad Land, nor am I sure that he even knows what the movie is about.
Don't know. It's about a nomad,
Okay.
which is what this movie is about nomads.
Okay.
Also, one thing I liked about this movie, here's a positive for you guys, for you.
Mhm.
I discovered that I can sneak in Pollo Tropical into my backpack and watch it in the movie theaters. And that's what I did with this movie, and it was fantastic, and I never want to watch a movie ever again without Pollo Tropical. The problem is I shouldn't get the large because it's going to knock me out, and that's what happened with this movie. Because I ate it during the. I ate my troppy chop.
This is a weird rant to go in this late.
I
into the
ate my
episode.
troppy chop during the trailers because the trailers were 30 minutes,
Right.
and then the first 10 minutes of this movie, I'm falling asleep. So
Link's positive of this film is that he snuck in food, and the food was the best part.
But not just food. Specifically, Miami peeps will understand Pollo Tropical and its significance here.
and let me tell you, I tweeted this experience, and Pollo Tropical liked my tweet.
What?
That's right.
You know what?
the
That's
best
a win.
best in Miami.
So you know what, Pollo Tropical, if you're listening to this,
Sponsor
sponsor
us.
your boy.
Sponsor us.
Just the entity of Pollo Tropical is listening.
The chicken, the pollo, sponsor your boy.
Okay, so Eternals. Okay, I got some positives. Angelina Jolie's in it. A lot of people like her. She's fine. Salma Hayek is in it.
5 minutes.
I really like it. I mean, I really like her. I think she's great, but they don't use either of them well. You know, Salma Hayek's barely in the movie. Angelina Jolie is throughout the movie, but I don't say she really does much. I think right from the get-go, I didn't know how I felt about the action.
What action?
As Yelena would put it, they're a bunch of posers.
Yeah.
They pose up a storm for like half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what positive I think is a speedster, Makari.
Yeah, okay, the depiction. You know, and we talk about getting our perception changed. I heard about this going into the movie. The depiction of the speedster, I do think it's great. It's innovative, you know, unlike, you know, previous depictions. The fast speed versus the slow motion. It doesn't really happen that much in the movie either, though. So I didn't feel like we really got to sink our teeth into it.
They don't expand upon their strengths.
Yeah, I'm not even really sure what the scientist, the actor that portrays Paperboy on Atlanta.
Paperboy.
I'm not really sure what his power is. I know he's super smart. Is that just a power?
Is he a mechanic? Because
He's
like
Bob
he's
the
like
Builder.
no, he's an engineer, right?
Yeah, I
He
guess.
has
But
a degree in.
some fly, some have laser vision, some have super speed. Being really smart. That's
No,
worthy.
he can like manipulate stuff. And
I
he's
don't know
super
if that's
smart with it.
technology or not, though.
Is that-
I don't know. Is that part of his powers or is that part of the technology that he's created? 2 hours and 40 minutes later, I still have questions. I think it's incredibly long.
Too long.
Yeah. Jon Snow's in it. Yeah.
I think
Kit
that's- I
Harington.
think
Not enough. But I think that's a positive, but still not enough.
I think the
he's
best
barely
part
in the
of the movie was him,
Yeah, and he did nothing.
and
He ran,
yeah, he ran. Then
and then he discussed his armor.
That end credit scene.
All right, so full disclosure, spoilers. You don't want to fast forward if you haven't seen Eternal, since it's the only one who's still not readily available. But yeah, what about that end credit scene?
How am I supposed to know that that's Blade?
Yeah, I don't.
Do you not memorize Mahershala Ali's voice?
I thought it was probably. I was like, I'm not too familiar with.
Did you
Black
not
Knight,
think twice?
so
Did you not?
I was like, is it Merlin? Like,
Yeah,
did you not think it was Cottonmouth? I was like, what is Cottonmouth
No.
doing here? Because
he like whispers in like a Blade voice? It doesn't sound.
did
like
you know
him.
that was him?
no.
No.
Oh,
How did you not know that was Cottonmouth? Not Cottonmouth.
I don't know. I have a thing with like if you have to explain something after that's
yeah,
not in
then
your
you haven't done
film,
your
Yeah,
job.
you haven't
Come
done
on.
your job. No.
Yeah. I don't think people should be like, who is it? What is it? No, like, most people are just gonna walk out.
And I
Like,
wouldn't-
why did I wait after the credits for
Yeah.
that?
I'm excited for the Black Knight movie.
Your boy
There's
Harry.
not. I don't think you're getting a Black Knight movie.
Oh, I'm excited for the character to come into the MCU and do something.
You don't think it's just gonna be like Eternals 2?
Oh boy, don't do that to me.
I don't know, man.
And that's why I don't know where we're going.
Well, that's a weird negative note to end where we are right now.
But a couple of weeks.
Okay, so let's talk about though the spiritual aspect of this, in the sense that I had a deep connection with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I thought they could do no wrong. I trusted. I had faith, right? That faith's a little shaky right now.
They let me down.
Yeah, this is the first time, I think. And maybe other people have experienced this before, so they've been here before. Maybe Captain Marvel was that for them. Maybe The Dark World or Age of Ultron. Okay, but I've been here for the whole ride. Now I know that Eternals can let me down.
I mean, Marvel, I think it showed that Marvel isn't infallible.
Yeah.
They've had an impeccable track record so far, and I mean, it is what it is. People are, and
Eventually, we were going to have to get a unanimously bad Marvel movie, right?
that's the thing. There's a lot of people that do enjoy this film.
Mm-hmm. That's true, too.
And I mean, I'm happy for you. I don't. I think it's a personal experience because, like we've been talking about, these experiences are all unique. Everyone has their own type of relationship with these films, and so I think this is the first time, personally for me, and I guess I could speak for you guys as well,
Right.
where you felt let down.
Yeah, for sure. I had a student come into my class the next day and be like, top 5 Marvel film.
Don't tell me who that person was. Cause
Was it Link's friend that said
No, it wasn't.
the first Avenger is better than Dark Knight?
No, it wasn't.
No, what? I went to school with that
Yeah.
person.
Well, then
So
I
they
guess
would
she
still
was a
they would
student,
still
right?
be held
Not
back,
your
right?
student.
No, I didn't say it was. No, I had a student. I said, but anyways, then they watched it again. They were like, no, top 10. Then they watched it again. They were like, top 20.
Whoa, they watched it 3 times?
Yeah, they watched it 3 times,
Oh,
I
boy.
believe. But then they were like, okay, top 20. Like, it's better than Captain Marvel. So you're gonna have different experiences with this film, and your mileage may vary. This crowd here, not a fan, but we think it's gonna turn around right quick because we are literally days away from Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, we're literally days away. What do we anticipate for this movie?
A smaller version of Endgame. Infinity War.
That's quite...
I don't think he's wrong though.
What?
I don't think he's wrong.
Yeah, a smaller version of
Really?
Endgame. Yeah, this is probably like Spider-Man Civil
You
War.
were literally
I was thinking more like Civil War.
you're
But it's gonna
bridging
be bigger.
you're
But no,
bridging
but it-
20 years
it's
worth of
big-
stuff.
It's bigger than Civil War because you're bridging
You're
20
bridging
years
20
and
years.
different companies and
Hmm.
different
Okay.
actors.
You're
Maybe I'm thinking, so you're saying scope rather than like size? Because I don't think it's going to be like 200 characters in this movie, right?
My theory is that they're gonna give us Daredevil. I know they're gonna give us Daredevil, but one of the multiverses is gonna be Ben Affleck. Daredevil.
No, come on, man. Like, let's take this seriously.
No, I do think I think we have a lot of surprises that we have not seen.
Really?
There's gonna be characters that we
You
have.
guys are hyping me up now.
Who are-
Have I been underestimating this movie?
Yes.
What?
What's wrong with you?
You know, this movie's gonna be like
Yeah,
it's gonna be like the second Endgame.
literally.
Dude, that is quite a statement.
I agree with that statement.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. I'm going to temper my expectations.
Please do, because
Okay.
because for some reason if it's not good, then I'm sorry. But I'm super hyped for this movie.
Yeah, I think okay. I think it's going to be great. I'm expecting. Okay, what are some things that we suspect?
Charlie Cox is there as
Mm.
Matt Murdock.
Tom Hardy as Venom?
Tom Hardy.
Tom
I
Hardy is
mean,
Venom.
yeah, it's kind of guaranteed. Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get more bees.
3 Spider-Man?
Definitely.
You think we're gonna get Nick Miller Spider-Man?
No, that's no.
We're gonna get the
'Cause I would
weird,
love
like
that.
glitchy Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse in this one watch.
Nick Miller
Are we gonna get
Spider-Man.
Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099? I'm just kidding. I know he's animated too.
And he has another part.
What if that would... What?
Yeah, he's,
He's
Moon Knight.
Oh, that's right.
There we go. That's our first Hispanic superhero.
Hey.
And we got your boy from Miami. from the
Miami,
305.
Miami's own.
Yeah. Technically, though, that's the actor. I think he's Egyptian, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mark Spector? I'm pretty sure. Or is he just... No, he's like American and he's like taken over by an Egyptian
Is it
deity.
Marcos?
So he
back
probably
then?
will be a Hispanic person, right? Who's taken over? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, so
Mega hype for Spider-Man. That's all I
Spider-Man
know.
No Way Home is going to be the greatest movie ever of all time. Okay. So that's where we are at this point. Where do you think we're going after that? Or at least, what are you the most excited for? We've had several titles. Where do we go from there?
I have no idea. I don't know where we're gonna go from there. But there's some movies that I'm excited about.
Like what?
The movie that I am most excited about is, once again, going back to my boy Taika Waititi, the Thor movies,
I thought you were going to say Paul Rudd.
and that's just too much in the future.
Okay.
But Thor: God of Love and Thunder,
That's not the name of the movie.
whatever it's called, I'm really excited about that. Once again, you're combining two different styles because not only do you have Thor this time, but now you have the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm excited to see where that goes, how that plays, and we're gonna get Jane Foster. It seems like we're gonna get Jane Foster as Torita. So
I don't think that's her name. I think she's just Thor.
But that's a joke that. When did she become Thor again?
I don't know. It's been a while.
But that's a joke that
Goes back all the way to comic
yeah,
books.
high school me made up, and I enjoy that.
Wow, was it high school?
Was
It's
it
been
high
that
school or
long?
was it like early college
I
me?
think it's got to be college.
Right? Whatever. Torita, I'm excited for that.
All right.
What about you guys?
I think it's Spider-Man.
What? It's Spider-Man. Okay.
Does that count? Because we kind of just talked about
Yeah,
it.
we talked about Spider-Man already. You don't have like one of the upcoming. There's several titles that have been.
I'd have to say then Kenobi.
That's not.
Hello there.
Oh wait, sorry.
That's the wrong episode. We're
That's Black Mask.
I am very interested to see what they do with Black Panther.
yes,
I think that's
and
yeah,
that's just
so-
next year, right? That's like in under a year.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see what they do with that. I love the character, and I'm really interested to see what Ryan Coogler does.
Ryan Coogler, thoughts and prayers for you as you
Yeah,
decide how
you
to
got-
navigate this very these muddy waters.
Well, for me, I think it's clear, right? What you guys should be able to guess what movie I'm most excited about.
The Marvels.
That's right. No, again, like he's mentioned, that's so far in the future. In May, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
When does it come out?
May 6th, 2022.
Hey, on my birthday.
Oh, so you know it's
That
gonna
was
be
a
good.
setup.
It's gonna be a great movie.
You know it's gonna be good. All right.
I'm not gonna.
You're gonna flip on Doctor
Yes,
Strange.
I'm gonna like magic now.
Endgame Part 3.
Illusion.
Yeah, it's gonna be Endgame Part 3.
Whoa.
There you go. Because
thought
it's
that
gonna be
was
the
Spider-Man.
it's gonna be the sequel to Doctor Strange and the culmination of, I think, probably what we introduced in WandaVision, maybe some stuff that happens in Spider-Man. You guys convinced me. That's every movie is Endgame now. That is my
No.
level of anticipation. Every single movie that Marvel makes will be an Endgame level event.
I'm just glad you didn't think that for Eternals.
Look at our faces. You just think like this joke is amusing?
All right, so we've spent an incredibly long time going over the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We talked about Phase 1 and 2 a few episodes ago. We went so long
And
that
Phase-
we had to split this 2-part series into a 3-part series because this has been over a decade of our lives, going all the way back to 2008. As these movies progress, as these stories move forward, and as these characters grow, adapt, live, and in many cases die, so do we. We grow and we change. And these characters that we see move forward in time, we move forward in time with them. They become our friends and our families in a way. We see ourselves reflected in them. We see what we admire and what we don't. What we would aspire to be and what we reject. Wherever you are in your experience, there is likely something to grasp in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because it's the tradition that we've had since the beginning of time, telling our stories in order to understand our existence. And we continue to explore that every week here, and we continue to explore it maybe till the end of time. And perhaps the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this rate will outlive some of us. But until that day, we keep searching. So, fellow listeners, search on.
Alrighty, so now that we've wrapped up our Phase 4 films conversation, we are headed to our Spider-Man No Way Home reaction conversation. So this is your warning right now. If you have not seen the film, stop listening. This is your final warning. Stop listening if you have not seen the film.
Go watch it.
No, seriously, you don't listen to us. Go watch the movie.
Yeah, stop what you're doing right now and literally go to your movie theater.
Yeah.
And if there's no seats available, punch someone and break into the cinema and steal a small child's seat. They cannot fight you back.
You have your orders, okay?
Or get the handicap option.
Oh, just sit on the floor like
Or the
Link
space.
did.
Yeah. But find a wheelchair somewhere.
And while we...
And then just sit.
And
in
if
the-
a handicapped person comes into the theater, please give up your seat and then just wait for the next showing.
and everyone will think it's a miracle that you're walking.
Because you're sitting on the floor.
Oh no! In this situation, they they're in their chair too.
Well, they're in a chair, but are you?
Yeah, you might mean my chair.
Okay.
My spot was in a chair. I had to bring a chair.
All right, moving forward, I would like to introduce our producer.
Yeah, the producer.
The producer who will be joining us for this conversation, who watched the film with us.
Hi.
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 How are you?
Hey.
Wow,
Hello, everyone.
starting off strong.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we start, I guess we got to tell people, how did we go dressed? Because all of us here went dressed for Spider-Man.
Yeah, we went as multiverse Spider-Man.
Yeah, so who did you go dressed as, George?
I just went as Peter Parker, traditional Peter Parker, button-up shirt, my spider suit shirt, sneaking up revealed under the button-up, a camera, my glasses. I mean, I wear glasses anyways, but just like a nerdy haircut. I also wear a nerdy haircut every day. I just went as myself, I guess, with a Spider-Man shirt under my work shirt.
What about you, producer?
I was just Tom Holland.
Is that what you were going for?
No.
Oh.
No, I had the Stark suit on. Like the original Homecoming Stark suit
Yeah.
with a hoodie on.
I went dressed as Peter B. Parker, or as I like to call him, Nick Miller Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think you got a shout out on the way into the theater.
Yes, someone recognized me, and I was so shocked by that.
Yeah.
He was like I was like standing there just counting us off. Like I walked first, and he's not even a part of the theater. He was just a guy just waiting for the movie, I guess. And well, I guess he instantly recognized my outfit, and I went as Matt Murdock.
No, not Iron Man, not Tony Stark.
What?
No, that came after. So the guy outside, he was like, "Ooh, Matt Murdock," and then he's like, "Ooh, Peter B. Parker." And then did he say anything to
You
you?
just said nice.
He said,
I just got nice.
Actually, I wanna go back and focus on the producer's outfit because it was a full body jumpsuit, which means obviously this movie is 2:45 plus about 30 minutes of trailers. So obviously you have to go to the bathroom before that because you're like an over 4-hour commitment here. So he needed assistance to
zip him up.
Yeah,
zip him down and up.
I needed
So
someone to zip
it's like
me
three Spider-Men in a bathroom stall, just
and Daredevil.
Pointing at each other.
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
We had to assist the blind man into the bathroom.
Yeah. Or the blind man was assisting him actually.
I mean, he zipped me up. So
Echolocation.
Okay, so we're about 5 minutes in and we haven't even started talking about the movie, which I'm sure is what our listeners are here.
Yeah. So initial reactions, guys. What do you guys think?
That was amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I'm gonna say it. It was magical.
Man, I really thought you were gonna say
Spectacular.
mid.
What did you think I was gonna
I
say?
thought you were gonna say mid.
That's your gimmick. I
I
don't-
was like,
I've
what?
I've never said mid in my life.
You said it to ask what it is.
Okay, and you explained it, and then I never said it again. But yeah, it was a magical film.
Yeah, man. you guys kind of made me worry about it because you guys kept on saying, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. So I was kind of worried that it was going to suck.
Okay, full disclosure, did anyone actually think it was going to suck?
No.
Yeah, we were
But you
just
guys
saying
just kept,
that.
I believed it. And they go, man, it's going to, I'm worried now.
That's on you.
Man, this is great.
We were lowering expectations.
Yeah.
That's what we were doing.
After Eternals?
Yeah, because you had all these crazy theories. Like, you're like, oh, Daredevil's going to be in it. And like, Tobey Maguire's going to be in it.
I mean, that wasn't my theory.
And then you were like telling me Doctor Strange is going to be in it, trying to get me excited for the movie. And like,
He was in the trailer.
I had forgotten that though. So clearly you're trying to hype up my expectations unrealistically.
I think Gabriel and I both had high expectations.
I maintained high expectations
Yeah.
throughout this whole entire process.
We-
I was just trying to get in on the joke.
We thought it was going to be, you know,
Yeah, we might have said
Infinity War.
we might have said Endgame
Endgame
level
level.
I
event.
remember.
Are you that
George,
far
George
off,
was
though?
like, no, he didn't think it was that level. We
No.
thought it was. But I felt like it was like a little bit below that.
Yeah,
I think
you
it was
were
so.
close.
This is what I think.
It was more than Civil War.
I think it was Avengers level event. I think it was like how Avengers compiled all the heroes we had seen in phase 1. Right? Just phase 1, right? That's how I felt about this and all the Spider-Man. It's like Spider-Man is Thor and Spider-Man is Iron Man and Spider-Man, like it's just all the Spider-Man are the team of Avengers. I think it was as I felt the way I felt the first time I saw Avengers. Is that too low praise or
No,
Uh-huh.
no. For me, I think it's like maybe a step or two behind Infinity War for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same
me,
high.
Same.
I don't know, like
Above Civil War.
watching that movie. Like, there's so many times I'm like, is this real? Like,
Well, you could have been alive at any point.
Oh, not again.
But we're born. You were in the
You were
21st
born.
century.
you were
the
born
year
in 2021.
This time I have to agree.
It was a spiritual experience for me. Is that too
No, I want to hear more about this.
okay? So I have faith in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what they've done so far. But sometimes you get to a part in your life, a point where you start to doubt, I think no matter what you believe in life, you come across experiences that challenge the notions that you've always believed. And I think for a long time I believed the MCU could do no wrong. And then I hit rock bottom, which was the Eternals. And that moment just, is anything even real? Are MCU movies even good? Has this all been a waste of time?
So then you also thought it was gonna suck.
I didn't think it was going to suck. To be honest with you, I thought, how can you mess up Spider-Man? But I
we've
think the
seen
answer is
people-
probably Sony. Yeah, but the MCU, they've handled it so good. I love everything that they've done with Spider-Man. It's one of my favorites. And I think expectations were high. That's why I wasn't trying to buy into any of the, like, trying to guess where the story's going or who was going to appear in it. We kind of all knew for a long time that we were going to get the 3 Spider-Man. It was like the worst kept secret. But is it just going to be a cameo? Are they going to be in the entire third act? Is it going to be pivotal to the story? That was never a guarantee. And I think that they handled it. I mean, I don't see how they could have handled it any better.
So yeah, so your spiritual experience.
So the spiritual experiences, you know how I feel about Doctor Strange. And this
Magic?
Yeah, magic in the film Doctor Strange is a metaphor for one's spiritual journey in life. And I think I talked about it when I went on that long rant about Doctor Strange in a previous episode, but it's basically through like a Buddhist, Taoist spectrum, but it's so like comic booky that it's almost just an homage to that. But in reality, just the crux of the Doctor Strange film is the villain whose name always escapes me. Not Dormammu, but his prophet basically.
Mads Mikkelsen's character.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen's character. Anyways, it's about hopelessness. It's about giving up to the oblivion. And Doctor Strange, before he gets his powers, before his hands are paralyzed and all that, he's that this is like an empty, cold universe without any meaning. And it's not until he's humbled and he finds spirituality through the course of magic that he finds meaning and purpose, that all life is precious, that the abyss and the chasm, the annihilation that Dormammu offers is no purpose at all. That in what we do in this life, it carries meaning because it ripples through eternity. And I think that theme
even more so now with the multiverse, it doesn't just affect your life and the people around you, but like threads on a web that goes just like ripples on, and you'll never see the effects of the actions that you take in your life for good or for evil. And I think that theme resonates here. It continues in this movie, with Doctor Strange being the avatar to that.
Yeah, I saw 3 Spider-Men together, and that blew my mind.
Yeah. What blew my mind the most?
We're just gonna brush off on that entire rant.
I mean,
No,
that was
honestly, I don't see
fantastic.
how
I don't like magic.
I don't see how I can. No, you like math, huh?
Oh, that's okay. We'll get to that, I guess.
No,
But you had a
I think you had a very. It's just a beautiful explanation.
Yeah,
Like,
that was great.
I don't think I
Oh
can.
my- yeah, what can I add on to that?
I don't
Oh,
think I
yeah.
can add on more to that. Because I mean, we sat next to each other, and I feel like we had a similar experience. I think.
We had a whole row to ourselves.
Yeah.
Thanks to the magic of AMC's app crashing and just blocking off an entire row of seats that didn't get sold to
That are the best seats in the house. No
Yeah.
one sat in them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, like I said, I think your explanation was beautiful, and I think they catered to the Doctor Strange fans as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's dozens of us.
I think I'd say illusions instead of magic, but
I don't
me,
think they
that's
are
me
illusions.
nitpicking.
Yeah, I don't think they are illusions. I think they're just.
Illusion, Michael.
It's an illusion.
Illusion.
I think Doctor Strange was so great. Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing. Just when he had these like small like emotional moments towards the end, especially,
Yeah.
it's like he can be so stern and hard, callous even,
Yeah.
but then he can just flip a switch and like bring you to tears.
And I think that they kind of covered that with the whole sir aspect,
Mhm.
where he's like, "Don't call me sir," and it's like it's sir to you, like when he's being stern,
Yeah.
when he's being stern with him, and how like like you said, he flips it on, he flips it off, and I don't know. I think that's just the power of Spider-Man. It's like you can even convince. Well, he's not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore, but
Right.
you can convince someone like that who's so hard-headed, who's so can be so.
Oh, he
so,
has never been the Sorcerer Supreme though.
You didn't.
You said anymore? No, because it's like at the end of Doctor Strange, you'd think the typical origin story is gonna be like, oh, that's it. They make him Sorcerer
By
Supreme.
Endgame, he's
and they're
not.
like, oh, we have to find one.
By Endgame, he's not.
I don't think they've even gotten the chance to like get sorted out everything, all the aftermath from
So
it
like
before.
interim.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
acting-
Yeah, they're
okay.
just like kind of all trying to put everything back together, and then boom, Thanos is. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah, but even someone like that, to be convinced by a young kid, even like that theme throughout the movie where it's like, is this the right decision? This decision that you're making is hurting other people, and ultimately it costs someone their life.
mm-hmm.
But even then, like they decide to stand by the decision because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And I thought that hit really hard for me, I think.
Yeah, what I love about this movie, talking about that decision that cost someone its life. You know, I feel like ever since Tom Holland became Spider-Man, he hasn't had much. When I think of Spider-Man, I see a life of tragedy.
Yes.
Especially,
Yes.
especially when you read comic books, graphic novels like Spider-Man Blue by Jeff Loeb and Tim
Right.
Sale, where Peter is retelling the story of Gwen Stacy. You see that tragedy here
Mm-hmm.
because you don't see that in the previous movies because it's like young Spider-Man. He's happy. He has his friends.
Yeah, you take it for granted. He lost Ben, but we didn't see.
We didn't
it,
see
and-
that. He loses
He's
Tony,
adorable.
right?
I mean, at the same time, he is a part of like the Avengers.
Avengers,
he
right?
lives
So
in
it's
that,
like-
he lives in that type of world.
Yes, and you're like, oh man, I want to be Spider-Man. This is awesome. But
Right.
this movie reminded me, I do not want to be Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. This is a life of tragedy.
Yeah.
There is death. There is consequences to your actions. And I feel like we witnessed Peter grow up before our eyes in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this was the end of his high school run. He's probably going to be in college now for the next movies.
Mhm.
And we're going to see a more mature Peter. One that doesn't rely on Aunt May or
Tony.
Tony
Or
Happy.
or
Happy.
anyone,
or any one of his
anyone.
friends. Yeah, it's just him.
like we're left at, and not to rush to the end, but we're left in a place where I don't even know if MJ and Ned are even in the next
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Depends how much money they want. I think that is the answer.
You give Zendaya all the money in the world, okay?
I don't know. We have to pay for a couple of Spider-Man.
But yeah, so I felt like, wow, this brought me back to reality.
Yeah.
I
It
love
brought Peter back to
it.
reality.
Brought Peter back to reality, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sad.
Yeah.
But that's what you get when you read a Spider-Man comic book.
Yeah. Or watch a Spider-Man movie. 'Cause
Movie.
I think like Spider-Man 2 is like...
You see it in Spider-Man. You see it in all the previous irritations of Spider-Man. You see it in Toby. He experienced great loss. You see it in Andrew Garfield. He experienced great loss.
Right.
The greatest loss that Tom Holland experienced was Tony Stark.
Tony.
But now it's like, whoa, stuff got serious.
Mm-hmm.
This one was more personal.
More
Yeah.
personal, yeah.
I think this one was everything for him. Like
He lost everything,
he
yeah.
lost everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the life of Spider-Man.
That's
That's
right.
the
Yeah.
life of Peter Parker.
And now he's Spider-Man.
And now he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, which is crazy because I think Marvel does that a lot where they'll do an origin and then watch a second movie and they're still doing the origin and then we're like, oh, this is Spider, and then when like the third movie happens, they're like, oh, we're not to where this character is defined until like several films in. It's almost like their arcs are like multi-film.
No, it's crazy. It's like with the previous two, we see how Peter loses Ben,
Mm-hmm.
and that's usually like in the first film in the origin, and in this one, it just feels like we've had like what 5 movies with him,
Mm-hmm.
and like his third solo film, he just got basically. Well, we didn't see
With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Like that's the throw. That's the
That's
line
how
that
you-
runs
that's-
through
yeah.
Peter.
and that tragedy of him if that tragedy of him as Spider-Man that propels him and that helps him grow. And I love that, like, because the ending feels like an ending in certain, and it's an end of a chapter,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time it also feels like a new beginning to like when you get to the end.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts, producer?
No, I used to have a lot of gripes about Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Ooh, tell us
I-
how you hate the Marvel Spider-Man. Go.
I used to prefer Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a hot take. That is a hot take. I know, but I thought he was the perfect Spider-Man.
Okay.
But
Why?
this-
Why is that?
the quips, his mannerisms, just I thought it was the most polished.
Yeah, not too cool, not too dorky.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought it was nice balance.
40 years old.
I struggle with Tom because I didn't like how much help he got from Tony.
Mm.
I always saw Spider-Man as that individual. He was always running solo.
You know, and to defend that, I think it's like a period in the comics where there's that Tony Peter relationship and it
Yeah.
runs like adjacent with Civil War, and we know that he's young and just starting off, but it's also Marvel's kind of was their take was, well, the audience has had like a 15-year journey with Peter already, so for us it's like let's tell new stories.
Yeah.
Even though it's early in the period, so it was really like a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
Like, let's do something new, but also like be true to like 16-year-old Peter, and it's hard to kind of like walk both those lines.
But I don't know. That's the thing with Marvel. I feel like if it's something that's maybe not the best idea at first, I feel like they have a good track record with correcting and
Yeah.
making
Oh,
it
yeah.
work
Yeah.
down the line.
Yeah, and sometimes it is correcting, but even more, it's expanding.
Yeah, and they make it work.
Let's be honest. They just made 5 Spider-Man movies that they never even made. They just added to them in a way that they're more meaningful.
Yeah.
Because, for example, I was a fan of the Andrew Garfield movies when I was growing up as they happened, but I did my rewatch lately and I was like, oh, I see why like people
Yeah.
don't like these movies. And I was like, I still like them, but you know what? Maybe they're not great. Oh man, they're so pivotal now. Because how do you get here without those movies? It's like, if you're a kid growing up now and you did not watch any of these movies, you got to go back and watch them. And now they're basically canon. You know,
Yeah,
they're essential viewing.
Yeah.
which I love.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I was doing a rewatch. We had seen me and the producer had seen the first 2 Spider-Man with Toby.
Mm-hmm.
And then today I watched the other 2 with Andrew.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the Andrew, I think I only saw it in theaters like maybe once.
Yeah.
And I just didn't remember it
Mm-hmm.
as much. And going back to it, I feel like I've watched Toby's Spider-Man like so many times that it's like, I mean, the producer can tell you, I was
Yeah.
falling asleep.
Yeah.
And there was parts in Spider-Man 2 where I just like I'm quoting the movie in my sleep as it's
Mhm.
happening, and he's just like he's freaking out. He's like, "What?"
Scared the heck out of me, man.
And at the same time, it's like watching the ones that I'm not so familiar with was kind of refreshing too.
Yeah.
Like I remember some points about the film, but I really enjoy. Like there were certain parts of Andrew's Spider-Man that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like there's I have some issues with his Peter, but him as Spider-Man with the suit on, I think I agree with Danny. I think as a Spider-Man with the suit on, I think he's my favorite.
Yeah, not to dwell too much on the older movies, but it was funny that you said the quips that Andrew has, because I feel like when I rewatched the first Amazing Spider-Man, like 3/4 of the way, I was like, are there even any jokes in this movie? Like this movie is so dry, like it's just like
Mm-hmm.
the lizard coming out, and there's almost like horror elements to like the way the lizard is presented, and I was just like, I think there's more in the second one.
Yeah, the second one really.
Yeah, he comes
polishes-
into his own.
Yeah, that.
The other thing I remember loving was Gwen. I remember loving Gwen at the time.
Emma Stone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Emma Stone. But now going back and watching it, I was like, she's kind of just Emma Stone, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, at the time it was refreshing because we'd probably only seen her like 1 or 2 movies, right? And we're like, this is a great take on Gwen. And then like now I'm just like, oh, this is how Emma Stone is in most of her movies, like her own personality.
I mean, the writing was bad for those.
Yeah.
Like that's. I think that's undeniable. But
Mhm.
I think he was a great Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and
She
I
was a
could
great Gwen.
feel his passion, too. I think he's a fantastic actor.
I thought the cast was great for the Amazing.
Yeah.
So. And I'm glad that this movie like honors them because it's easy to like. They could have just done Toby. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody
Yeah.
would have been like. This is quite a accomplishment to get these 3 guys in the same movie.
and it's aware that the Amazing Spider-Man's writing wasn't as good. So
Mhm.
like,
It's almost a love letter to those because it's like, yeah, they were downers, so this Peter is a
Yeah,
downer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, he doesn't have the prestige that the other ones has, and he doesn't have the support, and like he plays that role perfectly in
Yeah.
this movie.
What about the villains? How'd you like them coming back?
I forgot, man, because I'm so used to watching. Forgot his name. What's Green Goblin's name again?
Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe.
I'm so used to him watching him in
Norman
in
Osborn.
in Wes Anderson movies. So seeing him like play Green Goblin, I'm like Norman Osborn. Like, man,
I'm the other way around.
this is great.
I'm the other way around. Every time I see him in a Wes Anderson movie, I was like, the Green Goblin in this movie.
Like, wow, I forgot how. Because in his Wes Anderson movies, he's more the humor is more lighthearted.
Mhm.
The characters aren't that serious. Here, you get to see how serious he is.
Yeah, like the Lighthouse. You're right.
Oh my goodness,
Super
I cannot watch
lighthearted.
that movie.
No, but also like just the facials that he does as
Yes.
Goblin. Like he took all this time off, and he's just right back where I think he might have even taken it up a notch.
it's like he
Yeah.
never left,
Yeah.
man.
yeah.
So good.
I think
good.
my wife mentioned that as good as he is as Goblin, he's better now.
He's better now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because she was like, "This is really Goblin," because he's just completely ruthless and you know, I was like, yeah, because in the first one you still have that struggle between Norman and the Goblin, and then that's it. He's kaput. He's gone. But he's just like falls to the
So
walls,
good.
like just completely almost irredeemable. And
Yeah.
yet somehow they still.
There was this scene. There was like they were, you know, for the press they were interviewing William Dafoe, Jamie Foxx. What's the name of the other Otto? I forgot his name. Alfred Molina, right? And they're asking him, "Oh, what made you come back?" And William Dafoe gave this beautiful answer, artistic. "Oh, I wanted to try this character. I want to try something new. Blah blah blah. I want to do my own actions." And then it was Alfred Molina's turn. He goes, "Oh, I just did it for the money."
Which
And-
is, I mean,
It's respectable.
Yeah, understandable.
understandable,
honestly.
right?
Okay, but then there's doing it for the money. But then there's Alfred and Molina doing it for the money.
Which is
where
which
you're
is-
like,
it's still great.
Yeah.
yeah, you're
He
like
still killed it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like you take the money and then just give like 110%.
Yeah.
I think in the context of the video, I think it was more of a joke. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was more of a
But-
joke. But
because like it's just like the juxtaposition. Like Willem Dafoe just gave this like what just happened right now.
Yeah.
You have this like super deep and thought out like explanation as to why you love Doctor Strange in this movie and stuff like that. I'm just like, I just saw 3 Spider-Man, so it's great.
But this could have easily been a cash grab because you're not guaranteed that what he did in Spider-Man 2, this like amazing film, that you're gonna be able to reach those heights again.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even if the movie's good, like are you gonna sully the cinema tradition, the classic, you know, Spider-Man 2 by going back to? I mean, he dies. He dies in Spider-Man 2. It's always kind of a like gonna be a hard sell that he's coming back. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. You mentioned Jamie Foxx, Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, and like as soon as they started popping up, I turned to Gabriel and I was like, imagine if you walked into this movie and you didn't know anything about it. Like, imagine if, like, I could.
No promo.
Yeah. I wish I was, like, in some secluded village where, like, they drop a TV down with a copy of this movie and you have no idea. The Sinister Six or Syndicate or whatever.
You just have all those
Sinister
villains.
Five.
You just have all those villains working with Spider-Man. And
It's
it's
crazy,
like,
man.
wait, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's funny. It's just like all of them in the condo, just like trying to work on a problem together, and I thought that was great.
Well, actually, so how many were there? There was Electro,
Electro,
Sandman.
Sandman,
Goblin, Doc Ock,
Doc Ock,
Lizard.
Lizard, and Venom. So they did it. They did the Sinister Six. He was there. He was transported over to the universe.
For 10 minutes.
He
Nah.
drank for like
Strange.
what about a week?
Strange was the sixth villain.
Let's talk about that. What's the timeline for this movie? Like, how much time passes over the course of this movie?
Days?
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah, like a couple of days.
It's like 4 days. Like it's
So Venom was just drinking at this bar for 4 days.
Well, yeah, it has to, because by the time that May dies, and then he could have just been visiting her grave, right? Just like time.
Well, sure,
passed.
but they're all gone by that point.
Yeah.
But like the action of like people being teleported in.
Oh, bringing in, yeah.
yeah.
Maybe like 2-3 days?
yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
So I actually had a question with Andrew and Toby. When they pull them in through the portal,
Mm-hmm.
they're in our.
They're already in our
they're
world.
Yeah.
our
Yeah, yeah.
universe. They're just
Yeah.
kind of like lost.
They got pulled in because they also know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man,
Yeah.
which seems like obvious, but
But they're confused as it's not them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're seeing the news and like, that's not me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like, I think seeing Andrew was like, oh, bring Peter Parker, like
Mhm.
find Peter Parker, and then you see you kind of see Andrew's like mask and his eyes. I think the first time I think we were like hitting each other. We were just like, bro,
So
bro,
good,
bro.
man.
Well, it was more like you were hitting me, and I was like, "Why is this man hitting me in the middle of the theater?" But yes, that's
Well,
exactly.
that's how
what
I was
happened.
with the person next to me.
Yeah.
I didn't know who that person was.
Oh, you weren't even with them.
No.
Okay.
There was some pushback.
Yeah. But eventually, they just started shoving each other.
Yeah.
Ned with the
Hobgoblin. references?
the magic and
Yeah,
that was
they
hilarious.
hinted that heavy. I don't even know if they're gonna do it, but
I don't think so. I think that's one for the fans.
yeah,
good.
I
Nah,
think
they
that-
were like, I will never become evil and kill you.
Good.
Get ready because he's gonna get super jacked, and he's gonna get a goblin suit, and he's gonna kill.
He's gonna date
MJ.
He's gonna
kill
date
her.
MJ.
He's gonna date her and kill
Kill her.
her.
Because she chooses Peter for him.
Mhm.
Look at that. We wrote the next movie.
Yeah, there you go. Hire us.
What about
we know Zendaya listens to the show.
what about
Well,
exactly?
she might be out of the movies though.
What about that cameo? You know, the one with the blind lawyer from Hell's
Oh,
Kitchen?
right.
Yeah.
That was like, that's what I was waiting for the whole time.
How long into the movie is that? It was like
The
a
whole
couple of minutes.
the whole time
10
5
minutes?
minutes, like what, 4 or 5 minutes in, boom,
Yeah.
he's in there.
so casual.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, I'm here. Deal with
Deal
it."
with it.
I loved it. I was so excited that the person that was next to me, I was hitting him, because I thought you were gonna see him in the precinct when
Yeah.
they're being
When he's being
interrogated,
Yeah.
all of them, but you don't see them. Like, you know, they get out of the precinct and not like, okay, is it not happening? Am I not gonna get my cameo, my Charlie Cox cameo? This is
Yeah.
what I came for. This is what I want.
That's
I'm-
what I came for. Strange. You came for.
I came for Daredevil.
I came for Venom.
And I was like, when is this gonna happen? And then, you know, you see him with the cane, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I see it, I start hitting the person next to me. I'm like,
And then that person was like, "Stop hitting me! I
stop
don't know
hitting
who
me,
you
sir.
are."
And I'm like, and then you see Charlie Cox's face.
And then I whispered to Gabriel, "Affleck."
I was worried about that, man. I thought they were gonna do something like that. And
In what universe?
Yeah, why?
why? I have no idea.
Just irrational.
Irrational
fear.
fear. Yeah, I told you. I have this irrational fear that this is gonna happen.
So did they say something when Charlie Cox came out?
So when he comes out, I think I was the first one that you can hear my voice,
Mhm.
and then I go to the person next to me and I give him a kiss on the cheek.
Again, was this the person you were with or the person you weren't with?
That was the person I was with.
Oh.
It was-
Oh,
much better.
I really thought it was.
Yeah, well, because he's in between two people. you
That's
know?
what I thought. I
Yeah.
thought it was a possibility.
no,
No,
the person
that-
next to me to my left was falling asleep. Well, she was my mom. He was like
Wow.
asleep for half the movie.
Oh, actually, the producer had an interesting experience with the person next to you.
Oh yeah, he was explaining the entire MCU to his girlfriend. She was so lost.
Commitment.
¿Y quién es el Spider-Man?
You know what? That guy.
He's a true hero.
He's a hero.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Yeah.
I would.
But like, how confusing must that be?
Yeah, that's
for
what
her?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would have just given up. I would've been
Like maybe
what?
you saw like Toby Spider-Man as like a kid or something.
Yeah.
And then he's in this one.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When he
How
walked through,
committed is this guy to this girl? Because, like, this is not. If she's never seen a Spider-Man movie and he takes her,
yeah.
like, okay, I have to explain this whole. I'm not going to enjoy this movie because I have to explain it
I mean,
to you.
let's be honest
I would have
with you.
rather watched it with close friends.
Thursday 3 p.m.
Thursday, 3
premiere.
p.m. Yeah, exactly. No,
and you
I'm
have to
watching it with the
explain
boys.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you knew what you're talking about, then yeah, I'll invite you. But I had to spend
I'm
my
not
whole
explaining
movie
anything to
explaining
anyone.
anything, everything to you. Commitment.
Yeah, no, Link convinced me. Never mind what I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say?
I mean, I was gonna say that I kind of never really enjoy it the first time. Like, I'm looking at it through a critical eye. So, like, people always wonder, like, how come I can stop and make like a side comment to like Gabriel or text you real quick to come down and join us in the empty row? It's because like I'm taking everything. And I'm like, this is an evaluation process, and I'm not really gonna just like unplug and let it wash over me till the second viewing. So like I can kind of understand, like, because there's questions. Like, my wife turns to me. Sometimes I turn to her and I'm like, what's going on right now? Like, I think at some point we got lost, like, what the plan was at the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about that?
No, I mean it's.
They're like, we're gonna cure them, but I wasn't really sure how.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, we're in a lab and we're doing
Yeah.
science. All right, let's go cure them.
Yeah, they did that quick.
Yeah, and I was like, how? Are we just like injecting them?
He
Are
was
we-
like,
do they have like a super collider on top of the Liberty?
I was just confused because I was like, so then what are their intentions? Like, because Sandman just starts fighting him after
Yeah.
saving him. I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, what? Why is he trying to stop them? Like, what are his reasons? And then I'm like, wait, what are their motivations? What are they trying to do? And I think we got a comment in, but I think I also heard that they were saying I can whip up like we can still save them.
Yeah.
And Toby's like, I can whip up
And he's like,
an antidote for
cure
Goblin.
butt. Let's cure butt. They didn't say butt, but they're like, let's cure them.
And then I think the lizard one, since they already did it, I can see how Andrew
Yeah,
like is
that one makes
ready.
sense.
But I think
I mean, also Toby dwelling on healing Green Goblin after all these
That's
years.
beautiful,
Like,
man.
I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah.
That one made sense
Yeah,
too.
that was like, you know what's beautiful? Like, Osborn comes back in the comics, like after years, right? So like Osborn's death is really pivotal in the Spider-Man mythos, and then eventually they bring him back in the Clone Saga in the comics, and it's like terrible because everything about the Clone Saga is terrible, but you get Osborn back, and that's awesome because there's like decades of Osborn stories you get throughout the 90s and 2000s, which is like what I grew up like. Osborn was dead before I started reading comics. Obviously, it was like in the 70s or something, right? So you only have those old stories. And he comes back and is like a great comic book villain, even though he came back like in a wonky, weird storyline that like you don't want to accept the story, but you want to accept the outcome. They did it here. They brought Osborn back to life in a sense, but like in such a beautiful way, because it's like what happened in Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man film, still happened. So you get your cake and you eat it too.
Yeah.
Because he died, but this one from that point didn't. And now Osborn's back, or not. I don't know. Let's talk about that. Finality? Because this movie gives finality to almost like all three trilogies. Sorry, Andrew, I know you didn't get a third movie, but all three series of Spider-Man. But it also kind of opens the door for
To
all of them.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
honestly, like when they were explaining their backstories and like what happened to them, I don't know why I was like, that was so comforting
Mhm.
to me to hear like with Toby and how he has to work on his marriage with MJ.
Right.
And
I wish they would have been married. We don't know if they're married, right?
I'm
He just
pretty
said
sure
it's
they're-
complicated.
It's
He didn't-
complicated, yeah, we
he
don't
didn't
know.
say married.
nah, but he says like they worked on it and like
Yeah,
You
like
could
it worked.
assume
They
they're
he
married,
says
yeah.
that. No, he said they made it work, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, he's like what, 50 or something like that. He
Yeah.
looks. I didn't recognize him when he first came into the
It looks
portal.
so different. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Thought it was a youth pastor.
I was like, is this the voice actor from Spider-Man? And then everyone's clapping, so it must be Toby.
And then Andrew's like what he went through after losing Gwen.
Yeah, and that's such a sad
place to leave that series.
Yeah.
Like Gwen dies. There's no bounce back. That's
No.
it.
No,
And
that's it.
But that's the life of tragedy of Spider-Man.
That's the thing. Like I mentioned, I saw it earlier today, and I do enjoy the ending of that film. I wasn't like a big fan of the whole his dad was like a super secret scientist for like the government, and like that's how he becomes Spider-Man.
Yeah, but you know that's all canon too, right?
Yeah.
That's from
That's
the
how he
comics.
becomes Spider-Man.
Well, no, that's not how he becomes Spider-Man, but
So that was
his
my main
parents
thing.
were secret agent. No, that's also terrible. Like I don't like him in the comic books either. But it's like, again, trying to do something different. It's still true to the Spider-Man character, but not everything from the comics should
Yeah.
probably be retold. Yeah.
But like the ending, like with Gwen and how he looks at like how he's just despondent and he doesn't want to do anything, and like Spider-Man disappears, and then he watches Gwen's like valedictorian speech, and he goes back out there and he fights right and he saves the kid, but like you're right, he didn't get a third movie, and that one ends on a bit of a downer, and like I think watching it right back to back, watching this film right after, and him having that kind of like redemption, like him saving MJ, that was beautiful to me.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, and I don't know, that it was just something I never thought I would see, and here I am that they were giving it to me.
And they make it seem like he doesn't really recover from that.
Yeah.
It's
You
almost
know,
like
when they're
yeah.
in the school, they talk like, oh, you know, everyone's telling their little bit of a
Yeah.
backstory. Like, and he says, you know, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Ronin, because he turns evil, you know, during the blip, and then after that he's good.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
When he turns the
Yeah. So it kind of reminded me like, this guy goes through a dark period, and I mean, we don't know what he goes through. We don't know if how he lashes out.
Or how much time has passed either, too, because he's like
We have
clearly
no idea.
older.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, he's just a kid.
but
That was a good.
but yeah, you can tell that he dwelt, you know, with that he
carried that with him.
he struggled
Yeah.
with that regret, that anger that he had, and I love that both Toby and Andrew share their life story, their life experience with Tom Holland.
Yeah. You know, one thing I love is like the inversion of theme in film where he makes a promise, Andrew's Peter makes a promise to
Captain Stacy.
Yeah, to Captain Stacy, you know, to stay away, to protect. And then he ends that movie with you know, promises are meant to be broken. And that's like there'll always be a chance for them to be together. And then the next movie, the theme is no.
Consequence.
Yeah, there's consequences
to that.
for breaking your word, because there's a logic behind the promise that you made. It's like The Dark Knight does the same thing, where it's like you need to lie to people in order for them to be able to, they can't handle the truth. And there needs to be some lies that you believe in order to move forward. And then like Dark Knight Rises is like, no, if you lie to people, the truth always comes, and it's always worse than that. And it's just, I always find it low-key brilliant to be like, hey, accept this idea. Okay, now challenge that same idea. And like how the inversion can also be true.
I think that they did such a great job mixing all those different films and combining into this one and making it work, and at the same time pushing this story along.
Yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. There's like 3 or 4 times that I'm like, man, do I want to cry? Is this really happening? And I think some of the most, influential and best parts for me was when they're talking about like being a team, and when they're like drawing up the battle plans.
Yes.
And they go out, and that's just that one shot where they all are running and they jump off the scaffold together.
Beautiful.
That was
man.
just, I couldn't believe it.
That's like everyone coming back after the whole Thanos
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
because it's 2021, and I'm still getting moments that I never thought I'd see in a live-action film.
Mm.
Like, that's why we love Spider-Verse. I think one of the main reasons.
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse is like, you cannot do this on film.
Yeah.
You know? And in a sense, yeah, you still can, because like the anime one and the like cartoon one, you know, the Glitch the Pig and all that other stuff. But man, they basically did a Spider-Verse movie, and it worked. And it was still the last of this trilogy, because it didn't get bogged down or confused or distracted by capping all those other stories. Like, especially for like the first half of it was just clearly the next chapter in Tom Holland's Spider-Man series. And it was
Yeah, and I mean, we had the joke of saying that maybe it wasn't gonna be great and stuff, but I think there was a real fear that maybe this movie was gonna try too much,
yeah,
or it was gonna have too much in it.
like be cooler than be substantial.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think we had that experience with Endgame, but Endgame obviously had the job of we're closing what 18, 19 movies out, and that's just
And setting up for the future.
yeah, exactly. But I think they did a great job in continuing the story of where it left off, like straight from Far From Home,
Mm-hmm.
and moving it forward into the next chapter, into the next 3 chapters of where we see Spider-Man.
I mean, you can tell the script is tight if it has to pick up from Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Far From Home, and when was the last time we saw Peter? Endgame? Oh no, oh yeah, just Far From
Yeah, it
Home.
was
I
Far
guess.
From Home.
Yeah, I guess it's Far From Home. We haven't seen him since Far From Home, right?
Mm-hmm. And that was another thing that I really enjoyed because with the pandemic, it was another year added onto it. It felt like I was watching this movie and I'm like, man, it had been such a long time since I was in like one of these like big like events, I guess.
Yeah.
And it
Oh.
felt nice.
Well, I mean, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage.
I thought you were gonna say
Huge
Eternals.
event.
Venom 2 is clearly a bigger movie.
But I don't know. It felt nice to be back, but at the same time, it also felt nice to see another Spider-Man movie.
What was your favorite part of the whole movie?
I'll start this one. It's Andrew saving Tom's MJ. That's the redemption
yeah.
I wanted.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
In
then
just that one moment.
Yeah.
A redemption arc.
and him in tears holding her and she's confused.
He's like,
but-
"Are you okay?"
Dude, that brought me tears.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen Amazing Spider-Man 2. And it
What?
just brought me, yeah.
Like, you've never seen it?
No.
Yeah, he told me that earlier, and I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Huh?"
Wow.
Wow.
And it brought you to tears.
Yeah. 'Cause that redemption.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
beautiful, yeah.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you still feel that loss of Gwen because you've experienced it through the comics and things? Like, you can still relate, or?
I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
I've also seen clips. So I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay. I don't need to watch this movie. I probably am
should,
now.
but
Yeah, you
yeah,
really
Yeah.
should.
I
yeah.
should. And I'm probably going to, but it's like, okay. At the time when it came out, I'm like,
Oh, it's over. Why? Why?
something happened. I don't know. I don't remember why I couldn't watch it. And then I heard your guys' reviews. I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't watch it. Because I was going to watch it by myself.
I thought we liked it, though.
I think we did too.
I'm pretty sure I liked it.
I think there's one thing he didn't get around to, and then once he did get around to it, it was like, oh, like he.
The
Yeah,
series-
like by
at
the time
that
everyone was
point,
shitting
series
on
is
it, yeah.
canceled. He heard there wasn't EDM in it. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie had strange music choices.
Yeah.
Oh, the music in this movie was fantastic.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Mm.
It was epic, but it was also very intimate. I thought it was great.
Yeah, and kind of low key, like in the background.
Yeah.
Like
It didn't take over the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think it complemented everything very
distracting.
well.
That final score was beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
What about you, Gabe? What's your favorite part of the movie?
Honestly, probably what the producer said. I really like that Andrew saving MJ, and I think it was just very particular in the sense of because I just saw Amazing Spider-Man 2 an hour or two before, and I think. But if I had to pick a different one, I think it's them, all of them jumping off the scaffold, and like
Yeah.
I think that to me, like, and then like them posing, the 3 of them on the Statue of Liberty. It's just
a moment I didn't even know I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
Honestly, this movie was a movie I didn't even know I wanted because until we heard about all the Spider-Man possibly coming back, like I would have never even imagined that.
yeah.
And like some of those movies are a mixed bag. Like we're not really huge fans of Spider-Man 3, and some people don't really like Amazing, so it's easy to kind of like water down Spider-Man by including those elements. But man, they just elevated everything.
I think for me, my favorite part was that conversation that all 3 Spider-Mans are having in the Statue of Liberty. How they're, kind of like telling each other secrets and like, oh, what? You don't have to... How does it feel like to
Oh,
just
yeah.
have natural web fluid in you?
Yeah.
What does
Love
that look
that,
like?
man.
That funny conversation. I just love small moments like that or
Mhm.
funny. I also really enjoyed that one, and it was stupid. But when Tom Holland enters school and he sees the principal, his PE teacher, and his history teacher, I'm like, and they were talking, the 3 of them, I'm like, I don't want a show with those 3 only.
Just like everyday high school.
yeah, give me a Hannibal, give me
Peter
a JB
doesn't even go
Smooth,
to the high school anymore. It's just a show.
a Martin Short movie. Give me a show. Give me a movie, a show with those 3.
Yeah, what's that in school he goes to again?
I don't
There's
know.
like a comic book, right, based on the like just the high school going.
Maybe it's like Peter Loves Mary.
Also, I really loved, when we saw Matt.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Because that was what I was waiting for the whole movie.
I mean, that was a great moment. And, I mean, we're going to talk about Hawkeye later on in the merry month of Marvel once the show's done. But the way that this movie ties into that, seamlessly, how I went from, like, watching on Wednesday to then watching this movie in the theater on Thursday. And I'm going to go back to my TV on Wednesday. Let me tell you, like I said, I had my faith shook for a little bit, but
We're back.
yeah, we're back. Yeah. Someone once wrote that they thought that the MCU should have just ended after Endgame.
I will eat my words. I was wrong.
Okay, so this is the poster boy
Yeah.
for the interconnected universe.
I was wrong.
What about you, George? What was your favorite part of the movie?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that my favorite part of the movie. I mean, I think it's everyone's favorite part of the movie. It's when Venom comes
I
out
know,
at the
yeah.
end, and he
Scene
just
was
like
so-
argues with like it's Eddie and Venom just arguing back and forth. I love that stuff. Like, just give me more of that. Give me more of it. No, I'm just kidding.
And Danny Rojas.
It almost brought down the movie, to be honest with you.
I was so annoyed when I
But
saw
it was
that.
nice. It was nice to see that them leave the symbiote behind because we can tell a good Venom story. Maybe we haven't seen it done yet, right? We've seen several Venom stories, and I'm not sure any of them are good. But that's an argument for another time. The Doctor Strange stuff is my favorite stuff.
I
I
figured.
think. Yeah, from a visual standpoint, remember I was talking of Doctor Strange about how it's basically the inception of the Marvel Universe? Oh man,
See
it
it
was
again,
on
yeah?
steroids
Oh,
here.
Yeah.
And it throws back to the same visuals from the movie. You see a lot of it, and then it's just like folded in and of itself. That action was insane. Like, to add Doctor Strange to this movie elevated it
Yeah.
to the next level in terms of visual, like just what you can do. And then I like that the whole math beats magic thing.
That was, that
Yeah.
was so good. Because the whole time I'm like, Doctor Strange is going to whoop him. Like,
Yeah.
how is he going to compete? And then Peter just solves it like a problem, like an equation.
Because math is just science that we don't understand. Math. Well, math is a science that I personally don't understand, but magic is a science that we just don't understand. And then at the end, after the credits, we get I think this was probably like a little controversial. Some people were like, a trailer.
Yeah. That's how I felt. I'm like,
I liked it.
Yeah.
you could have set another character up, giving me a Miles or something with Daredevil.
Nah, I think they need to sell the next movie.
Nah,
man.
we're about,
Yeah.
I know, it makes sense. I'm like, oh, I saw it. I was like, okay, they're selling the next movie.
I like it
But-
now.
But maybe you should have given us something like low key and not a trailer
Yeah.
that would
Okay.
have pointed towards the next movie.
I like it now, but I won't like it later.
Yeah.
Like in a rewatch.
Yeah, in a rewatch because
Right.
it's like, oh, this is-
Okay, but then sometimes there's scenes that we get that then we get them back later anyways, like the Ant-Man, this is at the end of Civil War where they're like, no, the movie before Civil War where they show a clip of Bucky and Cap and Falcon and they're like, oh, I know a guy setting up for Civil War.
right.
That's a scene that we get again in the next movie. So we get that, we presume, right? The scene where Wanda and Strange talk. But then we also get a sizzle reel, you know?
That was
So it's-
great.
So it's not unlike other scenes that we've seen repeated back to us. In the like Thor was that, Doctor Strange was that too. Like Thor and Doctor Strange have a conversation. That conversation's in the next movie, in Ragnarok. So it's not the first time we get footage spit back to us. But we get a sizzle reel also.
Yeah, no, but that particular footage was great.
The one that we got now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
With the Doctor Strange, the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the what if Doctor
Yeah.
Strange.
And
If
that
you guys,
just that validated it for me.
listen, if you're listening to this and you saw Spider-Man, I hope you saw Spider-Man if you're at this point in the
For
conversation.
real.
But if you saw Spider-Man but you haven't seen What If on Disney Plus, go back and watch What If. It's kind of a mixed bag. Some episodes are good. Some episodes are. Some people don't think so. Some episodes, some people think are great. At the end of the day, it's going to be essential viewing too. This movie made everything essential viewing at this point.
Oh yeah.
And if you have not seen Spider-Man and listened to our whole conversation here, find Doctor Strange
Mhm.
and have him erase your mind. So you're good.
But don't interrupt him while he's
Don't
doing his
interrupt him,
stuff,
yeah.
Yes.
How rude is that, man? How rude is Peter Parker?
I thought they handled it much better than in the trailer. In the trailer, it was like Doctor Strange sucks. Like
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
yeah. Like, or Doctor Strange just pretending to mess up this spell. But I thought they handled it much better in the actual film itself. Okay, so I think that we could probably go on and on talking about this, but we've covered most of the basic points. Any final thoughts before?
Do we want to cover the future real quick? Because it ended pretty open.
Okay, the future of Spider-Man, the future of Marvel.
There's Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Cover that real quick.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't go to Boston.
Oh well, that's definitely not happening.
What?
Good.
Why would they go to Boston?
Isn't MIT in Boston?
MIT's in Maine.
It's in Maine.
Oh, I'm still New England, huh?
Is that?
He probably knows
Maryland,
more.
Massachusetts, Michigan.
As someone who dislikes the Patriots, I know what's New England.
Oh,
What's not New
But Maine's
England.
all the way. Okay.
I think
But he's not going though.
Yeah, he's
They're
not going.
going.
I
He's
know, but
got a new apartment.
Just in case.
No, but he
No, he's
hasn't-
staying.
Yeah, he's clearly staying.
At least does not mean anything, okay?
in New York, you've been killed for less.
True. Just in case.
Yeah, he's alone. He has to get a GED apparently.
It'd be easy
Needs
for
to
him.
study for some reason.
Well, Gabriel had a good rationale for this.
Peter's a good boy.
Yeah.
And as a good boy, he should study for the test he's gonna take.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, he gets the GED book even though he could just walk in and pass the test.
But I think I'm really excited to see what the next phase is for him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cloth suit, OG suit.
that's oh,
No
man.
tech.
A
That
suit
was
that I feel like
beautiful.
I can wear,
That
which
suit was
which is
beautiful.
important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go on and on about the suit, but let's go on to some other opinions.
Man, I don't really know. They left the whole thing with MJ left kind of open, so they
Mhm.
can introduce new love interests.
Yeah.
Maybe Gwen,
Black Cat.
Betty.
Black
want it.
Cat,
Black Cat.
I want
Kitty,
Black Cat.
Kitty
yeah.
Pride.
Felicia
Oh, true.
Hardy.
Now that we're getting the X-Men, we can probably get Kitty
Oh.
Pride.
I like that.
Oh,
I
I
do-
do like that.
like that.
I didn't even consider
I
that.
do think it's with the introduction of Matt Murdock here, maybe we can get
Oh,
some team ups
King.
with
Yes.
Daredevil.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
If you weren't getting to that street level Spider-Man,
Yes.
he doesn't have
Grounded
any tech.
Spider-Man.
He's just, and then he can team up with guys like Hawkeye and Daredevil, and
And not only that, now with the
Kate Bishop.
introduction
Ooh.
of
Kate.
Kingpin into the MCU,
mm-hmm.
maybe we can finally see Spider-Man in the
Oh,
MCU
man.
versus Kingpin,
yes,
who in my opinion
Oh,
is the best villain in the whole. It was my favorite villain from Marvel,
yeah,
and which is something we haven't had.
What's what a strong villain.
Yeah, a strong villain like such a developed villain like that.
I think there might be a few along the way,
But not only that too, like one that he's a villain for not just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
multiple.
yeah,
Daredevil.
okay, a big bad
Yeah,
for the universe.
but
Right?
at the same time,
that's
it's,
not one.
But
and
not
done.
on a
But-
but not on a space level.
yeah, not in the
Yes,
space level, so
yes,
it keeps
yes.
it grounded.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I'm excited
Someone
about.
to constantly be a thorn in their
Yeah.
side,
Yes.
but not someone that you have to take off the table. Like once you fight Thanos, that he needs it to be off the table.
See, I mean, and that's one thing that's just so incredible about it. It's like this kid has fought in space. He's fought the Avengers. He's fought intergalactic people, like enemies, and now they just reduced him to having an apartment
It's
in
perfect.
the city. And
It's grounded him, bro.
yeah, we're back at ground zero, and I'm excited to see where it's going.
And good luck fighting Kingpin, because that's tough.
We're fighting Venom.
Or Danny Rojas.
I don't think he's gonna fight Danny Rojas.
What about you,
Man,
George? What do you
same.
think is gonna happen?
I mean, I think I just said fighting Venom. No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say that the street level. Okay, I'm gonna be serious. Fighting Venom, like
Oh yeah, that's an option. Now.
an opportunity to tell that story
Flash Thompson?
well. I don't know.
Hopefully not,
Yeah,
because I don't
man.
want it to be him,
Mac
man.
Gargan. I mean, he's in play. But I think they could go either way.
Whatever.
Well, they could introduce a different Eddie Brock. They could do all three of them.
They're gonna
eventually,
get
you know?
Tom Hardy again.
Kind of too old.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I think the way they left it, they're not gonna.
Yeah,
get
they're
Tom
not
Hardy
gonna get
again.
him.
Yeah, and the way he acted in that scene, I don't want Tom Hardy, and I love Tom Hardy to death, but
Why you should have just stayed as Bane.
yeah, he did that back and forth. Hey, we didn't talk about J. Jonah Jameson real quick. That was like a huge part of
Oh,
Far
yeah.
From Home. And
I mean,
like,
he did that thing where he makes me hate him,
Yeah,
What?
so he was great.
Oh, for DC.
No. Like you
no,
I
in the
hon-
movie,
in the-
like
no, not
Jameson.
Oh, you hate Jameson. in the movie.
Jameson.
Okay.
Period is a character I hate because he's so annoying.
You know what? But I kind of
But I'm used to hating him.
I feel
'cause I
like
grew up with hating him.
OG Jameson and like animated Jameson.
It's worse.
No, I think he's more sympathetic because I feel like
Oh, that's
he's
90.
a shill and a schlock, but you're like, you know, like deep down
He has journalistic integrity.
yeah, yes, deep down,
Yes,
down,
deep down,
he-
yes.
Here is just like evil so far, but we don't know him that well because he didn't play as central as a role as I guess I expected with the big reveal at the end. But it was nice, just as a framing device.
Yeah, still a nuance. I mean, annoyance.
Yeah, a thorn at the side, and I think they left it up for him to continue.
Yeah.
Because now he's persecuting a Spider-Man that he doesn't know. The same thing that like, oh, you can't trust people in masks. Someone's bringing us back to it. So I think the future is bright. I think there's a lot of opportunities.
I mean, I'll say this: I walked in, and Tom Holland was not my Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm satisfied he is. He's my Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker.
That's a win. That's a win
that's
for
a win.
MCU. That's a win for.
Mission accomplished.
It's a win for Sony.
Yeah.
It's a win for Disney. And it's
As
a win
much as
for
I
us.
hate to admit it.
Yeah. Okay. So we look forward to the future of Spider-Man and all its iterations. Into the Spider-Verse. What's the name of the new movie?
Across the
The Spider-Verse, Part 1. Okay, that's going to be something to talk about in the future. Looking bright. The world is Peter's oyster. Pressing, lonely oyster, but still his oyster. And on that note, we're going to let you go. And talk to you later, guys.
The
Bye.
blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen?
Go watch the movie again.